All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about a technology that has pretty much leaped from the pages of science fiction right onto our screens. Generative AI. I mean, it's already writing our emails, it's creating incredible art, it's changing the world as we speak. So let's cut through all the noise and really figure out what's going on under the hood. Okay, so first things first, what is generative AI exactly? Well, the simplest way to think about it is that it's not just an analyst, it's a creator. It takes in these enormous amounts of information and then uses all that knowledge to produce something totally new, something that didn't exist before.
And the range in what it can create is, well, it's just staggering. This goes so far beyond your basic chatbot. We're talking about drafting entire articles, generating images that look like real photos, composing music, writing lines of software code, and even creating synthetic data to train other AIs. The creative potential here is absolutely massive, and honestly, it's growing every single day.
So how does this magic trick actually work, right? It might feel like it thinks like a person, but really the whole process is rooted in some pretty complex math and a whole lot of data. Let's start peeling back the first layer. At its very core, the process is probably a bit simpler than you might imagine. When it comes to text, it's basically a super advanced game of what comes next. By analyzing just trillions and trillions of words, these large language models, you'll hear them called LLMs, they become masters of probability. They get incredibly good at making educated guesses to build sentences and even whole documents, one word at a time. So the whole journey starts with something called a foundation model. Now think of this like an AI that's been given a library the size of the entire internet and just told to read. It doesn't have a specific job yet, It's just a generalist expert on human language, on patterns, on concepts. This is the bedrock that all the more specialized AIs are built on top of. It really all boils down to this three-step dance. First, you've got training, which is where the model just soaks up all that general knowledge from a massive dataset. Next up is tuning, and that's where it gets a more specialized textbook, like, say, a bunch of medical journals, to become a real expert in a specific field. And finally, there's generation. That's where it puts all that new expertise to work for you, creating new content based on what you ask it to do.
So we get the process now, but what was the actual technology that made this incredible leap possible? Because this wasn't just a gradual step up, this was a full-blown revolution. And it's all thanks to something called the transformer. Let's take a look at the blueprint.
For a while, early models like VAEs and GANs were making some serious waves in generating images. But the real game changer for language AI came in 2017. A paper was published called Attention is All You Need, and it introduced the transformer architecture. Just 1 year later, OpenAI released the very first GPT model, and that was the moment the starting gun fired for the LLM race we're all watching today.
So the secret sauce here is this mechanism called self-attention. Before this, AIs really struggle to understand context, especially in long sentences. Self-attention lets the model weigh the importance of every single word in relation to all the other words. So, for example, in the sentence, the dog chased the cat until it got tired, self-attention is how the AI figures out that it refers to the dog, not the cat. That one little ability to actually grasp context, it changed everything. But it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of world. For text, transformer models are king. They're all about predicting the next piece of the puzzle. But for images, diffusion models are the state of the art, and they take a totally different approach. They start with a canvas of what looks like random TV static, and then, slowly, step by step, they refine that noise into a masterpiece, all based on your prompt. It's like two completely different paths to digital creation.
Okay, so that's the science, that's the tech behind it all. But let's see how this stuff is actually being used out in the wild by companies you and I interact with pretty much every day.
Think about your daily commute. Mercedes-Benz is building conversational AI right into its cars. What that means is you can stop using those really rigid, specific commands and just start talking to your navigation system naturally. Just like you would with a friend in the passenger seat. Or what about home improvement projects? The Home Depot has an AI agent that's basically designed to be an expert on call 24/7. It can walk you through a project step by step or recommend the exact tool you need right when you need it. It just makes those DIY projects that much more doable. And in the world of entertainment, that Spotify playlist that seems to just read your mind? Yeah, that's powered by AI. It sifts through these enormous data sets to create those hyper-personalized experiences that give us everything from our Discover Weekly to our custom end-of-year Wrapped story. But the impact goes even deeper, into really critical areas like healthcare. Companies like Bayer are building AI platforms to help radiologists analyze scans more accurately. They're even using it to speed up the quantum chemistry calculations that are absolutely essential for discovering new life-saving drugs.
Now, with any technology this powerful, there are always two sides to the coin. Generative AI holds just incredible promise, but it also presents some really serious challenges that we have to navigate very, very carefully.
I mean, the economic upside is almost hard to wrap your head around. Projections from Goldman Sachs suggest this tech could boost global GDP by 7%. That translates to nearly $7 trillion. That's not just growth, that's a potential productivity revolution on a global scale.
And this is really the core dilemma we're facing, isn't it? On one side, you have this incredible promise, boosting productivity, sparking creativity, accelerating innovation. But on the other side, we have to deal with some very real pitfalls, like the risk of harmful bias baked into the data, major questions about our privacy, the potential for spreading misinformation, and of course, the huge amount of energy it takes to run these systems. So, at the end of the day, the goal can't just be about making AI more and more powerful. The real challenge, the one that truly matters, is building AI that we can trust. AI that's fair, secure, and genuinely aligned with our best interests.
And that leaves us with one last thought to chew on. These models are trained on our words, our art, our code, basically our entire collective digital footprint. So when they generate something new, are they just creating content, or are they actually holding up a mirror to humanity itself? Thanks for joining this explainer.